Okay, coach. Thank you for your time. So far, how are preparations going ahead of the big game?
I think that it's been very, very cordial, and accordingly, with the way we have been preparing weekly. Today was our 159th session, and we are in our 26th week, and then we are preparing for the week, March day 22. And so our preparation has been very, very cordial.
So you have always emphasized on cohesion, building an identity for your team. So far, you are just above the halfway point of the season. Where are you in terms of
I think that we are 65 to 70%, which shows that we just need to gain some level of consistency in the way we operate, in terms of our identity, in terms of our style of play, and also in terms of our culture, like our on and off the pitch behaviors. And so it's very important to think about how we can build personalities and how we can build team culture, and then also how we can build the playing character of individual players who make up the team.
So you mentioned about 60 to 65% where you want the team to be. What is left in the 35, 40%?
I think that it is all about the decision making in key moments of the game. We have some key moments of the game in terms of the pitch, and so when we are able to make some consistent decisions in those areas, then we would have said that we are up there, and then we just need to continue believing in what we've been doing, and then to keep that consistency, which gives us that sustainability.
So you mentioned decision making. When you look at your team, you've scored only 15 goals this season in 21 games. That is like the second lowest in the league. How much of a challenge is scoring for you?
I think that it all boils down to the making the right decisions on key moments. Remember that we want to play a game that is cognitive, and cognitive in the sense that we want to play a game that has to solve problems, a game that has to be more of decision making, a game that has to be on pattern recognition, a game that has to have attention and then awareness, and a game that has to have clear perception, a game that has to have anticipation, and so a game that has to have memory, and a game that has to have resilience. So if you reflect on all these aspects that I've mentioned, these 8 aspects, it means that every decision that we have to make on the playing pitch should be a decision that is very thoughtful. That is why it's cognitive. And so I think that when we are able to, and you don't expect players to just do that 2-3 months and that's all. No, you need to keep doing it repeatedly, and then to gain that consistency, and then that is how they can improve on that, so that they can believe in it, they can have trust in it, and then they can know that this is the way, and that is how to create an identity and a direction for a sporting side.
So if that had worked out how you envisaged it, where do you think you
Absolutely.
would have been?
If I had said that we are 80% there, then you would have known that so many things have been working so well. I think that all the difficult aspects has been clearly defined, because if you ask the players to come to a team meeting at 7:50, which is our reporting time, everybody is there, nobody is late, and then we start team meeting at 8 o'clock, 8:30, 8:45. We are off from team meetings, and then we do so many things in the team meetings, either tactical orientation, or we're doing culture sessions where we have to define what communication means, how important is communication, how necessary is communication, or we are talking about aspects that is about focus, what it means. They will be telling you that you need to stay upright with what you are doing, away from distractions. So these are difficult aspects. So if players and staff are aligned in these aspects of the sporting industry, then it means they are becoming more aware of themselves, and they want to improve and get better versions of themselves. And I think that this is the way forward. Once you can change a person's mind, once you can go into a person's mind, then you can really very much have the chance to help the person to improve. Once we can improve, I believe that then we have the chance to grow. We have to improve before we're thinking about growing as a team, and that is where we are. And that is why I kept saying that we are 65 to 75% there, and so that 30% is very key moment, and we can't stop. We will continue to be working hard to improve and then grow.
Now you have taken charge of so many of such games. You've coached Kotoko, and now you're at Hasufo. What does this game mean?
I think that what it means is that it's 3 points that is at stake, and then it has its superiority control where a side wants to gain supremacy over the other. For some people, this game is everything. And for me, it is important to think about the 3 points. And I think that we are more focused in how we have to present ourselves as personalities, and then how we have to present ourselves in terms of our character. The character, which means is that right from the beginning of the preparation, you are already focused on it. You are thinking that, okay, if I can run much in the game, it is not on the day game. It is all about the weeks leading to the game. So for me, our preparation started from our last game against Bechim. Things that we did which was positive defensively and offensively, and things that we learned from the game, from the opponent, and from the game itself. And also the challenges that we envisage in the game are things that we have been working on. We don't work like, okay, we are playing against this thing, so this. We work on our own team model. Our team model is more important. Once we can do our things rightly and make the right decisions, we are very sure that and positive that our team model should sail us through.
So you have had, like, let me just say, approximately about 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Do you think that gives you an edge?
I think that it's the same thing like the opponent. The opponent equally was also playing a top level game, and so that week we had to also take an opportunity to play, a top opponent's golden case, just to keep our players more fit and then more ready for the coming week. Once the season is on, it is always very important to keep players more active.
So talking about the opponent, we've seen in the past few days what has happened there. Karim Zito, you've worked with him before at the club, and he was there. The things didn't go well, and he had to step down. So why, when these things happen?
It's normal. This is not the first time he's walked off from a coaching industry, and this is not going to be the last time. It's always like that, and it's very unfortunate when people don't understand how the rudiments of the game goes. But sometimes that's what it is. Unfortunately, coaches are not responsible for outcomes of games, but many times they are foreseen to be being so responsible for outcomes of games. We are very much responsible for the way our teams play and for the way our teams will perform and the way they will behave. But the outcomes sometimes is very difficult to control, because you don't control the decision the player makes. You control the chemistry of the team and other aspects, the direction and everything. But the decisions the players make on the pitch on that moment, that is why I said we want to improve in key moments of the game, the decisions we make. That is very key. Coaches don't control that. You can't control when he has to pass the ball, when he has to head the ball, when he has to shoot, when he has to cross. You can't control that one. It comes in a split second. But you control the cues and then the models that you put in place for players to improve in that area. But sometimes, many times, coaches are rather judged by results of outcomes of games. But they are not, normally they are not supposed to be responsible for that. Assuming it rains and then a player slips and the ball sails through, why would a coach be responsible for that? But we are many times judged by results and outcomes of matches, which is very unfortunate. But that's how it is, and you cannot change it. Globally, that's what it is. You are a judged best coach by outcomes, not by good football is playing good football. No. Good football is normally judged by the outcomes.
So the two clubs at the moment are almost in a similar situation. You are just 1 point ahead them, and they went.
That 1 point is not just. I wish the other games that we lost 3 games. Those 3 games, if we had 1 point, and you add it to what we have, it's massive. So in football, sometimes when we don't have it, we think, it's just. But 1 point, that 1 point can give you the league.
So what I was just arriving at is that at House of Folk and Kotoko, the fans have a lot of expectations. So I'm just trying to say that, do you think coaches need more time to get their ideas out?
Unfortunately, there's no time for football. It's global. There's not. Even though coaches need consistency, but there's always not time, because owners don't have that time. And it is all about the systems that we put in place. It's the systems that drive the work. So when the systems drive the work, and then you put a progressive program across, then you are really very measured by the programs that you put across. But many times, outcomes are the decisive matters.
So going into this game, what will success look like for you?
I always look normal, even whether we are winning or we are losing. I'm the same person because of my understanding of the game. There are things that I can control, and there are things that I cannot control. Things that I'm able to control is what you saw me doing. I have time. I can stop the game. I can do so many things. I can in the afternoon like this. I'll come back again with a defensive setup to do individual position specific. Yesterday we did position specific for midfielders. The day before yesterday we did position specific for attackers. That one I can control that. That one is within our control. But there are aspects that you have no control over, and so I try to control everything that is measured around my control, and the ones that are not within my control, I leave that one, and I don't even think about that one. I am very, very reflective practitioner. I reflect in everything that I do. I look at how am I overloading my players with tactical information, which is normal. How am I being reflective, and then to understand why they are not able to do certain aspects. Why is a player not able to do, improve on certain decisions? It's my worry to go back, reflect, and think about how can I help the player, and how can I have the player to understand that he needs this aspect to grow in his game. So I'm a full timer in the game, that I sleep and I do everything for football, and then I think I'll remain in the football industry.
Okay, finally, where will this game be won or lost?
I think that the game will be won by the personalities and the character that we bring in the game. That we have to, if you have players who can stay in the game throughout, that's where the games are normally won. And I believe that is what we are working on, to make sure that we present the right personalities, and then they come with the flamboyant, thoughts, and then be measured in terms of how the player would think about, and then how they can support each other and take ownership.
All right, thank you so much.
Pleasure.